Now we review the 2024 film Civil War. Wasn't it a Marvel movie? It was, but this isn't it. Civil War is a very used title. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, I have just seen Civil War, which is not a Marvel movie. It is a movie about America at Civil War, so kind of like modern day America, only with more tanks and aircraft. But we have most of the tanks and air. Well, it's Americans killing America. Well, no, that's also very common. It's a bunch of reporters trying to get to Washington, D.C. before the president gets killed. That's unique. All right. So for every 1,000 subscribers I get, I do purchase one of these bracelets from the company 4Ocean. 4Ocean pulls a pound of trash out of the ocean every time I do that. If you'd be so kind as to come like and subscribe, you'd be doing your part for a better world. Now, as I say, you have a star-studded cast of reporters using oldie-timey filmy cameras to be photojournalists as America, the strongest nation in the world, tears itself to shreds. And probably the most ridiculous part of this movie is that California and Texas have teamed up to fight the rest of the United States. And I mean, look, it is entirely within the realm of some kind of reason that you would have people in our military that would see because the president here is apparently on his third term. That was not a big part of the movie. In fact, they try to keep the politics out of it and stick with the reporters. But apparently, the president is on his third term. He's not respecting the law. And, the military is decided to take him out. Which, it does beg the question, who is on what side? Because there is no force on this earth that could withstand the American military for any length of time. You know, it's just ridiculous. Secret Service, yes, they can guard the White House, but we could just blow up the White House with our military, so who would care? But we're taking all that and we're wrapping it in a ball and we're setting it aside. And we're focusing on these reporters who, for some reason, have film cameras in this modern age. And I don't know if that's a thing. That could be a thing, but I would assume that you'd use digital cameras. But they're actually talking about developing film in this movie. So there's that. And you've got, evil people who torture and murder other people for no good reason because they don't think they're American enough. And of course, we reasonable people who tend to live in California, we understand. There are plenty of unreasonable people in California, by the way, but reasonable people understand that being an American is not being born in America. It is living in America, supporting the American economy, and voting. Right? That is being an American, taking part in the economy and political system of this nation so we can do things like build roads and protect people and try to make this a better world. That's being an American, okay? So, like, there is a scene where, a person gets killed because they were born somewhere in Asia. And, like, yes, that is not... Killing somebody just because they're born somewhere else is not American. Okay? It's American. Those people can't spell. So they're illustrating the American part of this movie. And, there's a point where the reporters find a part of America where it's like, yes, there are snipers on the rooftop, but otherwise everything is perfectly normal. And, they're going, there's a war out there. Yeah, okay, dude, there's a war out there. But do understand that just because there's a war out there doesn't mean the world stops. That's not a thing. All right? In World War II, Coca-Cola had their branch in Germany, and they couldn't get the stuff to make Coca-Cola. So you know what they came out with? Fanta. And that's why people drink Fanta in Germany, even to this day, because that was a brand they created in order to continue making soda during the war effort. Alright? It's officially the Nazi soda. The world keeps happening. So yes, in this movie, it illustrates the fact that the world keeps happening despite the fact that there's a war on. And yeah, the question that we're left to ask ourselves is, if this happened here, how would we deal with it? And what is the responsibility of the journalist, who is supposed to be impartial to report the story so that we, the people, can address it? What is their responsibility? How should they defend themselves? Because, yes, in a wartime, people will have press on their uniform or on their clothing, and they will generally be supported by a group of soldiers, and it is against the Geneva Convention to shoot those soldiers. In this movie, or to shoot those press people, in this movie, there is no such person. All right? In Vietnam, we had military reporters reporting on the war who were enlisted men and had weapons and could defend themselves. And it's like, yes, there's one scene where something bad is going to happen, and, they're powerless to do anything about it because they're press and they have no weapons. And they're not saying, hey, maybe you shouldn't do this terrible thing. You're being bad to people, and yes, these people may have done something bad. We don't personally really know. But being bad to people because they were bad is not good. Two wrongs don't make it right. We're told that from childhood. And this does beg the question of, why are you stupid enough to go into an active war zone without any form of protection? Because when you see reporters doing that, they have protection, and before that, it was a place where it's like, yes, but I'm a soldier too, and I have a certain responsibility to protect people. So that modern concept of the impartiality of the press is examined here. It is not. There's no clear moral statement as to which it is, but it is examined here. Now look, I can't tell you whether I like this movie or not. I live in Los Angeles, and there is a human rights crisis happening right out my door. I can guarantee you that between here and work tonight, there are going to be a lot of homeless people. And what do you do about that? Okay, that's a human rights crisis. People are dying in the street, and you might say, well, they're drug addicts. Yes, some of them are drug addicts. Some of them are turning to drugs because it's the only thing they can turn to make the pain go away, right? That's a humanitarian crisis. And there are people with guns out there in the streets here, and maybe they're not shooting other people, but they're doing bad things with guns tonight. I can guarantee you of that. So the fact that this movie is an escalation of modern America that doesn't choose sides in its reporting, although, let's be honest, a third-term president, we know which president they're talking about. All right? We know who they're speaking of. And, yeah, I mean, this movie is a thing. It exists. It's like Don't Look Up in terms of movies, in that you should probably see it. Okay? It should be at the top of your watch list because of its relevance to the modern world and the fact that it makes you think. Does this make it a good movie? I don't know. But Civil War is definitely a movie that will spark your ability to contemplate the situation that we're living in and ask yourself, what is the world? Who are we? Where are we headed? So you should watch it. Okay? High on your watch list. If you're going to watch one movie in theaters this weekend, I'm saying it should be Civil War. All right? That's just my opinion. I'd love to hear yours. Comments below. I'm Richard. Randall the Rat here, reminding you to comment, like, and subscribe. And why should you do that? Well, look over here. These are bracelets from 4Ocean. Each one of them means a pound of trash was pulled out of the ocean. And this channel buys one for every 1,000 subscribers it gets. And this around my neck, well, this is a medal from the Conqueror. It represents walking around the Great Pyramids of Giza. You can get one for yourself by going to the Conqueror challenges.com and saying, hey, I want to pretend I walked around the pyramids of Giza without dealing with all the sweat and flies and delicious scarab beetles. Or you could support this channel so they can buy more of these, which means that they will plant trees, because each one of these represents 5 trees that got planted. Yeah, that's right, 5 trees helping your environment. Global warming sucks. Be a good person, comment, like, and subscribe. Give us more money so that we can plant trees by buying metals from the Conqueror. Randall out.